Hey everybody. Oh, yeah. Hey everybody. It's Friday. It's Brian. Hope you've had a good week. I am waiting for the other ball to drop, being 3:30. Um, to when that vulnerability, that critical issue gets posted to the news, and I'm just patiently waiting with bated breath to figure out if it's going to ruin my evening or not. So. Um, If you're here, welcome. If you're on our YouTube, welcome. I see somebody who's online there over there. So I will endeavor to, you know, involve you if you've got questions. I have the chat down in my lower right hand corner. Hopefully, I will not miss it when I am starting my bits. So let me see. I'm going to jump right into our discussion or my topic here. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Didn't. So, oh, Chris Knapp. All right. So, chill hop music. Going to be listening to that, a little bit of that in the background if you are interested. It is the Chill Hop 2025 Essentials, which came out yesterday. So, hey, Walt, how you doing? How are you doing, Walt? Just want to hope the job market or the job hunt is going well for you, sir. A lot of folks are hurting right now for jobs. I hope the work is going well. Ah, you know what? You're going to do okay, Walt. I think, Jesus, 71,000. You know what? I'll be lucky if I can pop. I don't know what the hell I'm at right now. Let me go look here. Let me see. I'm at something. I'm little under, there we go. I'm at 13,791. I have 3,193 XP. Yeah, I had hoped that my concern here is that people will find positions soon rather than later. But yeah, it is a little slow. My guess is that uh, well, companies like Microsoft are about to close out their year, their fiscal year here in July, and then October. People are starting to look at headcount and what they're going to need for that. I'm hoping that companies that have bet their asses on AI is going to figure out something a little more. I don't want to say audacious, but it's a bit more in the way of pragmatic. Like it's been almost 2 years since the AI wave has started, and um, I would say by the end of year two, if companies haven't figured out a solution yet, their tech debt, their feature debt is really going to start to suffer in this case. So I'm hoping that will mean they'll start easing that hiring up a little bit. So Walt, you're level 41 and you have 71,000 XP. How is that possible? I have 3,193 XP and I'm level 51. So, um, oh, is that quest thing still going on? They were trying, yeah, the boss event. Here we go. It's still going on. I'm never going to get the chest involved with that because I don't make nearly enough XP anymore, or ever to get these. But yeah, they're working on a yeah, and of course, to get the final chest, you have to have 10,000 XP. So I'm never going to get those, but I'm still doing the 250s and what have you. So um, wow, that's impressive, Walt. I had no idea that was that high. So um, I made it through. I made it through. Which one was I playing? Which one was I fucking around with earlier? I actually did this one. This one was not difficult. Of course, as it shows, it was a level 5 out of 10 for that one. What was it? This one here. Yeah, this one here was kind of interesting with the crossbowman. Um, there was archer, crossbowman, and inheritance. I think I'm starting to finally get it. I think what confused me was that if you're wanting to call uh, variables like, self.num arrows. You can't call num arrows because that is how the application itself, num arrows is how the application itself puts and affects this value. So when you're wanting to call a variable, this is the variable you call. You don't actually call the variable you've declared in this case. So like down here at the bottom on this, it was, when I'm trying to, do a triple shot from, as a crossbowman, when you call a variable, you have to call, um, the method. And one of the things that I was forgetting was that there were methods above touch this line, which was getting me into trouble. So I forgot about the ones up here above the line that it told me not to touch because I was trying to do everything with the existing classes that existed here. So I was running into issues. As you can see, my discussion with Boots was quite extensive here with regards to this. Um, because I was asking questions and trying to figure out how to um yeah, like, there's no target object though, where does that come from? And some of the target stuff was down here. And being able to call, I can call the variable and then get name, which is up here, which I was like, I'm calling the target and then using the get name, right? So it's coming. Actually, I'm closer to the end now than I was before, but there was another session here where trying to do coordinates was interesting as well. Uh, the way they do coordinates in Python, I guess you start in the left edge, which is wait, how did Boots say that? Let me see. Yeah, here we go. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So the left edge, which is, if you're looking at the scroll. So the left edge is, so you're actually only doing two variables, and then you're pulling. So the bottom left and the top right are the only two coordinates that you use, and then you're putting imaginary lines coming from out of those give you your square, your rectangle. And Boots has been very useful at times. Yeah, I actually ended up having to go to the Discord and putting in a question on, not the wizard one here, because I was able to pull from the archer one to explain the wizard one. I think it ended up being this one here that I was having issues with the archer, and not enough arrows in the self bits. So I ended up having to go to the Discord because Boots was just going in circles with me on this stuff to the point where I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Boots has been somewhat useful. So I started actually, just shortly before I started streaming. Um, this one actually has this and Dragon's Fight, which is um, a lot of classes in this course, and write some code that uses them. Let's have ourselves a little dragon fight. Complete the bottom half of the main function using 2 for loops. Okay. Okay, so I'm not supposed to do anything with this here. I'm not supposed to do anything with this down here. So only this nice little box area here is where all of my code is going to exist. And of course it is a level 9 difficulty. I don't know if they adjust these based on how long it's actually taken me to get through these. I think I got, yeah, so let me see. We're going to iterate over all the dragons and describe each one in order. Okay. Pass in the dragons in the same order as the original list, excluding the current dragon. So, for example, when the blue dragon breathes fire, it should check to breathe fire on the other dragons in this order: green, red, and black. So Green, red. So for green, it would be red, blue, and black. For red, it would be green, blue, and black. And for black, it'd be green, red, and blue. Okay. And I'm assuming this is the location of, yeah, each one. All right. So the green dragon is at coordinate X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. And then I see. Oh, and this is the range variable here. So when the green dragon blows its breath weapon, it has a range of 1. The red dragon is 2, blue is 3, and the black dragon is 4. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Um, oh, and to add to the complexity, they just throw some shit in there, like, oh, by the way, here's how to copy a list. And I don't think I ever learned that in the other parts of Python. So they're throwing up, hey, like here's get a new copy of the lists. So the idea would be to um, use the copy to get a new copy of a list. Use the copy method. If you just do new list equals old list, your new variable will just be a reference to the original list, which is not what we want. So they want to duplicate the original list, not just make a shortcut to the old list. And of course, deleting from a list, del, fruits, whatever. I do find it interesting that they don't use the same syntax for certain list operations. So, with you have append, which, nums.append. If you had append here, that would be correct. But for deleting things, you just, del, use the del command, like it was a cmd.exe or whatever. Hmm. All right, so don't touch above this line, so leave these alone, even though it would make sense to turn this into a class and a init. I did get it to hallucinate. The problem was laid out. In Boot's text, it referred to 321 as 3bi. That's how it would be done in manual style form. Oh. You might want to send them a message over on the Discord that, hey, you were able to get Boost to hallucinate by using certain dotted messages. So yeah. All right. So all right, we're going to iterate over all the dragons and describe each one in each order. So the one thing I have to remember is there are methods that we can call. In this case, here's the describe dragon, and so so when I try to run the system, it doesn't work. So there's something missing that allows it to execute, but there's no error messages, which is great. When you describe the dragons, your output should look like this. Dragon is at, well, that's weird because it already has them in there, right? The output of the first dragon breathing fire should look like this. Dragon breathes fire at 3-3 with a range of 1. Okay. And that's down here. Right, dragon breathes fire at XY with a range of self underscore fire range, which was covered right here. So fire range, that's why you have to call the self variable name, not the one that you want to name it to. So fire range wouldn't work because that's where the data is going to feed into the private variable, which I found that completely non-intuitive. If it's like saying, x equals 1, so oh crap. In that case, x makes sense because you're calling x. X is currently 1, so yeah. You wanted to call describe in a loop, yeah. All right, so all right, for so we go insert for dragon. Oh, Jesus. Dragon in dragon. Dragons. And we want describe in each one in order. Yeah. Have each iterate over all the dragons again and have each dragon breathe fire at coordinate x equals 3, y equals 3. Pass in all the other dragons, not the one currently breathing fire, as the units parameters, see if they get hit. Okay, well, we'll see. All right. uh, okay. For dragon and dragons, pass in the order as the original list, excluding the current dragon, for example. Oh, right. Oh, that's a little loud. Okay, turn that down a little bit there. There we go. And then turn my audio down because it's a little loud in my. There we go. All right. You want to call describe and loop, right? Well, we'll give it a shot. I'm just gonna knock the. We're gonna go to boots real quick here. So. I like that he's, oh, good job, adventurer, or whatever, and yeah. Right. Function expects a specific piece of information to do its job. What kind of information does it need? My guess is we're going to describe dragons. And I'm describing dragons. So remember, describe function is designed to describe one dragon at a time, as indicated by your oh, right, describe dragon, right? Just one dragon. For dragon and dragons, so what does the variable dragon represent during each cycle of the loop, and how could you use that variable to call the describe function correctly for each individual dragon? Yeah, just one dragon, right? So instead of dragons, it was just one dragon. So describe dragon in this case. Sure. Now that you've described all the dragons, the next part of the quest awaits. The assignment asks you to iterate over the dragons again, but this time have each one breathe fire. So this one is not. Can I wait? Does it? Okay, so we got. All right, so you can see it right there. I did run it. It works because I wasn't getting this before, right? When I ran this, let me see X. Yeah, see, I wasn't getting anything when I was running it, so that is the correct answer, at least, right? And it's iterating through the X, the Y, the X coordinate, the Y coordinate. It's weird. Again, def main, it should be like, this should be a class, right? Class dragons, but instead of doing this version, this would be the less correct version, I think, of how to actually go through that issue. All right, so breath weapon is down here. So breathe fire, here you go. And it is defined by X, Y, and units, including self. So I doubt it's as simple as for dragon and dragons. Breath weapon. I doubt it's that easy, but we'll see. Yeah, see. Oh, wait, that's because I did that. There we go. Yeah, okay, so breathe fire is not defined. Wait, what? Okay. They're trying to keep things simple. This is a level 9 vault. I don't think they're trying to keep anything simple. I think they're trying to make this one as hard as F, just like the last one. So I would say if it's as easy as these couple of for loops, then I'm good. You know, this should be like a 2 or a 3 because it's not hard to create a for loop and iterate through those. All right, so now that you've described all the dragons, the next part of the quest awaits. The assignment asks you to iterate over the dragons again, but this time have each one breathe fire. How would you start setting up your second loop to go through the dragons list once more? And once you're inside that loop for each dragon breathing fire, how will you figure out what are the other dragons to pass into the breathe fire method while as the units parameter, right? So there's a units parameter. Let me see, where is that? All right, so we have units. All right, so, ooh. Remember the tips about copying and deleting from a list, right? Yeah, scroll up to the top here. So I would start on like a 9 on this. I don't know why in the hell I keep trying to do these streams with these really hard fucking problems. All right, so in this case, we need to create a list. Num's copy, so we need dragon copy equal nums. Oh, I say dragons equal, and then, oh, wait a minute, we already have a list up here, so why can't I pull that? Should be able to pull that. So dragons equal, and then dragons copy. Right. All right, so that's still not working, but that's okay. All right. Starting working. Breathe fire loop. Copied list again using dot copy. I think they finally fixed the coding a bit, because when I used to copy these in without using the markdown, the 3 back ticks, it would sometimes not include those in the system there. So excellent work setting up second loop. So you're thinking about how to handle the list of dragons in the breathe call. You've added that inside your loop. It's a good thought to get a fresh list to work with. However, consider what happens when you assign the copied list to the dragons variable right at the start of each loop iteration. Or dragon in dragons loop is already iterating over the original dragons list. How might changing the list you're iterating over while you're iterating affect things? Well, it might clobber some data. That could be right. Also, if you look at the definition of breathe fire, you'll see it's part of the dragon class. It means breathe fire isn't a standalone function, but rather something specific the dragon object can do. How do you typically call a method that belongs to an object in Python? Finally, remember breathe fire needs to know where to breathe fire. The X and Y coordinates, which the assignment specifies as 3, 3, which units are potentially hit by the fire, the units parameter. The assignment says the units parameter should be all the other dragons. How can you get a list of the other dragons from a copy you're trying to make? Okay, God, that's a lot. That is a lot. Okay. Turn that down a little bit while I'm sitting here. It's not using a class, just using a dictionary and making it simpler. Sure, I mean, yeah. Yeah. God, I don't know how you got 71,000. You must be like nearly done with this stuff, right? Have you done the AI course yet there, Walt? They talked about a new AI course that like make your own AI, which I argue is not really an AI, but it's using, Google Gemini's API, so it's making API calls to build a clone of Claude. But I assume that's for people, to make it as resource light as possible, so you're not having to download a bunch of stuff, run run a local AI on your box, and etc. All right, so it sounds like dragons.copy is not the right answer here for this. So can I? Oh, you use the XP potions. Yeah, I don't use them fast enough because I'm not a programmer, so I don't want to waste them. Plus, I only wait and activate them if I'm going to do that before I actually submit. So that way I can make sure I don't waste an hour's worth of time for that. So, or like, yeah, the new boss adds a certain percentage to that as well. So, yeah. So if I finish this one in the time that we're streaming, then I will, knock back a potion and see if I can get something like a 1,000 XP or something like that, and get a medium chest instead of a light one. So, let's see. So dragon's new is not defined. Okay, so that makes sense. Dragon's copy inside your loop. It's a good thought to get fresh list to work with. Considering what happens when you assign the copied list back into Dragons. For Dragon and Dragons loop is already iterating over the original list. So may need to create a Dragon new, and then that, and then I can Dragons new. There we go. Breathe fire is not defined. I know that. Wait, what? Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I just, it is defined. It's just I didn't define it correctly in this case. And then of course, yeah, it's still not defined. So, all right. Find the new dictionary. Made it empty and copied information into it. Right, creates, I'm sorry, list, yeah, not dictionary. Copying an empty list still results in an empty list, right? Assigning that back to Dragons will empty out the list in your loop, trying to work with will cause problems. What? Exploring ways to create a new list. Creates an empty list, and copying an empty list still results in an empty list. Right. I see what he's talking about. Okay. And since breathe fire is probably incorrect, let me just go ahead and pop that back over here. Right, and stored, yes. Yeah. This will create that now. How the list stored in Dragons New is a copy of the entire list of dragons. Breathe fire method needs a list of the other dragons, meaning all dragons except the one currently breathing fire in this iteration loop. Sometimes so you said sometimes I can get 10 questions in an hour. I had the same issue when I was going through like Linux, or I was going through, some of the ones where there's a bunch of questions where it's like, you can pop off, 100 XP at a time in like 5 seconds or whatever. I think at one point, I was trying to get a 5,000 XP one, which they've nerfed it now. They've actually made the bigger one only 3,000, but there was a time about a month or two ago where 5,000 was the biggest one. And I was just hopping through some of the easier lessons to try to get 5,000 XP, which I knew was going to hurt me in the end, because at some point I'm going to hit a wall like this right here, where it's like I'm not going to get any points at all. So yeah, I get lots of gems from sharpshooter and daily quest. Yeah, I haven't. I'm still quite a ways away from my next sharpshooter, so I'm only at 6 of 15. So, but I've got 28 of those. So, yeah, potions and armor. I mostly just do baked salmon, because I didn't buy those. I've actually earned them. But I like the seer stones. I've sold all those. I lost a couple of my embers because I just couldn't log in one day because I was burnt out on this OOP stuff, and I'm just trying to just suck it up and get through it right now. So now the list stored in Dragon's New is a copy of the entire Dragon's list, but the Breathe Fire method needs a list of the other dragons, meaning all dragons except the one currently breathing fire in this iteration of the loop. Wow, that is. What would you call the breathe fire method on the current dragon object, passing the coordinates 3, 3 and your list of other dragons? So, well, if the coordinates are always 3, 3, that's what it said, right? Yeah. So these are hard coded coordinates. So the idea for the breathe fire would be X, Y, and units. So, God, I don't think that's correct. Breathe fire is not defined. Did I spell breathe fire wrong? No. Okay. Yeah, potions and armor. Yeah, before I submit anything now, I always make sure I have at least one armor so that I can go through and futz around and make sure that I've got I'm not overdoing it. So, all right. You don't actually need the first line Dragon's New, as the copy will just create the list for you. Oh, okay, well, that's good to know. So I can save a line. You kind of need to remember at that point that you have a new list here, but all right. So, all right. So the breathe fire method needs the list of other dragons. I'm going to need to append feeling like it should I compare. Feels like I need to compare current dragon against the whole list and exclude it somehow from being called. Dragon that's currently breathing fire, you need to prepare a list of all the other dragons to pass as the unit's parameter to breathe fire. Okay, so I know that it has a units parameter. It's not just units though. Probably some other bits here. It says you've made a copy of the full list into Dragon's New. Now you can remove the specific dragon that's currently in focus of the loop from this dragon. Wait, now how can you? Think about the tips provided about deleting items from a list. Oh, right. So when you're deleting items from a list. Ooh. So okay, so when for dragon and dragon, so if we iterate, the first one's going to be green. We would want to delete. Feels like we would want to do like. No, wait, no, we want to del, and then like dragon units. That's probably not the correct answer. We want like the current dragon, but okay. Oh wait, del dragons new unit. Well, I don't want to delete the function call. I just want to delete the unit inside. Oh no, wait. Not. I mean, the worst thing could happen is I obliterate my data. So, but that's not going to work either because I cannot delete a function call. That's it's not going to work either, right? Okay, so, and I don't think I can just delete units. I don't think that's going to work either. Nope, not associated with the value, right? Once you remove the current dragon from dragons new, the dragons new list will contain exactly the other dragons needed for the unit's parameter. There we go. So I was listening to a podcast, ironically enough, kind of on the same heels as solo roleplay stuff, which I also do another stream of solo roleplay. And it was the first episode of ironically enough, called the Solo Role Players Podcast. And it was talking to one of the YouTubers called A Man Alone, and he's been doing a lot of solo role play in his life. And the guy who interviewed him, who was also a solo role player, said, why did you start streaming? And A Man Alone was like, I just created something for myself. I wasn't really worried about entertaining other folks, but I was using it to chronicle the adventures. So, well, look at the enumerate function in the for loop, and then you get the index of the array for the del function. Is this, yeah, okay. Or unit in units, yeah, okay. Yeah. In area unit, unit.name is hit by fire. Self, oh, okay. Look at using the enumerate function. Enumerate function, was that up at the top? No. In area. I'm not seeing an enumerate function in the for loop. Is that something that they... Once you remove the current dragon from dragon new. Oh, it's a Python built-in, okay. Right, if you had a list of fruits, so the fruits in this case, or fruits would be dragons new, And the idea would be there's 4 values in there. So you got blue, red, green, and black, or green, red, blue, black. If you wanted to remove the banana, you could fruits.remove. Wait a minute, not del? Fruits is now apple and cherry. How would you use a similar idea to remove the current dragon object from your dragon's new list? So we're in the for loop. So we're iterating through green, red, blue, and black. So for dragon and dragons. So for the green dragon in dragons, we're going to take and make a copy of all of the dragons again into a second loop. So green dragon in the for loop is going to process dragons underscore new, which would have all 4 dragons in there, including itself. So green, and then green, red, blue, black. So I've got green dragon and I've got 4 dragons, but I just need to iterate through. What? For index, dragon in enumerate dragons. Oh, but I already have my second for loop in there. Did you actually add a third for loop in your bit here? Because they said it suggested only 2 for loops, right? Using 2 for loops. So I've already got 2 for loops in here. So is my first for loop not enough? It's interesting. So it suggests remove, which I do remember them teaching us that one, but not delete, right? Let me see. All right, so replace the second loop with this loop. Oh, so it's been wrong the whole time. Boost just hasn't said, hey, dumbass. Or index, huh? Oh, there's multiple. Okay, so for index and dragon. Oh wait, I spelled dragon wrong too. No, I spelled dragon right. And enumerate dragons. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if that was, if this is the, if we get this enough, then that's gonna probably need to delete that because that's probably useless. You could also do it with remove, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting. It's telling me to use remove, but at the top suggested del, which it's like, why am I mixing things up here? So. However, since you've already have the dragon object itself in the loop, using the remove method might be slightly more straightforward. Oh, I see. So, once dragon's new holds the other dragons, the final step inside the loop is to make the current dragon breathe fire. Right. That's one thing at a time, Boots. One thing at a time. What? What's going on, buddy? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a good boy. Oh. What? Yeah, he's a good boy. I'm guessing you solved this differently than the solution, Walt. I'd love to see what you're doing there. So, so what it wants is, oh, okay. So I've created dragons new. What I need to do is go down to the next line here, and it's Then you can run del on dragons new with the variable named index. Okay. Del dragons new dot index, and then what, 0? You like using enumerate. Okay. Well, it'll only work until, you know, Boots tells me, yeah, don't do it that way, and then we'll see what happens. You successfully made a copy of the list and you're thinking about how to remove an item using its index. However, isn't quite right. The index method is used to find the index of an item, but you can't use del on the method call, right? Indexing into the result of dot index with 0 also isn't the way to remove an element. Remember the other... Yeah, he really wants me to use remove. It's simpler when you want to remove something. I doubt that's going to solve any problems here. I'm gonna probably send them some feedback. Why are they telling me to use del if they want me to, if Boots is telling me to use dot remove? So doesn't make a lot of sense. Thinking we want to remove the unit, right? Because, or remove dragon, right? Dragon. Okay. You've got the copyright. And you're trying to use remove. You're very close to removing the current dragon. Dragon's new remove dragon. Okay. Remember, remove is a method. Like a, oh, I see. One of these days they will standardize, you know, not using curly braces or whatever. I have a feeling once AI starts taking over and writing code, it's going to be like, yeah, this is an inefficient way of writing this code, so I'm going to rewrite it in a different way that makes sense to me. I actually think that like AI will create its own, you know, language because our method of, you know, doing programming is probably inefficient. I think I already saw a news story about, you know, when they let two AIs talk to one another, they started creating their own language and they had to pull the plug. Okay, so I've gotten ready to get the list of other dragons into dragons new. Yes, now that you have the current dragon from the loop and other dragons in there. Final step is to breathe fire method on the current dragon. All right, so I'm not sure I need index. Sorry, Walt. I'm gonna try to not confuse Boots any more than it already is, or well, it would have been. So. Let me just double check and make sure that this is still. Del Dragon's new index. Should still work. Yeah. Okay. However, the task has, yes, I know, breathe fire. Thanks, Boots. Yeah, my thought about that with AI is like, you know, if an AI takes a look at how Python was created or how Rust was created, my feeling is at some point the AI is going to be like, this is horribly inefficient way of writing code, or you know, you have too many squiggly lines and brackets, parentheses. And we're going to do it this way from now on. All right, so breathe fire. Yes, I understand. Breathe fire method on specific dragon object. All right, so breathe fire. How do you call the breathe fire on a specific dragon object, and what arguments does it need? Remember, the assignment specifies the target coordinates are 3, 3, and your dragon's new list now holds the correct units. So, all right. So breathe fire in this case calls self, X, Y, and units. I don't need self, but I probably do need X, Y, and units. So, it's going to be 3, 3, and then unit. That's probably not correct either. Yeah, see, breathe fire is not, was it dragons? Dragon.breathe fire. Unit is not defined. All right, well, that gets me a little bit closer. Looking through the breathe fire bit. Breathe fire is the object method, so call it like a method. Okay. Expecting a list of units as its third argument. Oh. Which list did you just create that contains all the other dragons perfect for this purpose? That would be the dragons new. Dragons new in this case. So it says breathe fire is not defined. How would you call passing the coordinates in that list of, oh, maybe I should have left dragons, dragon dot object dot method. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, let me double check here. Yeah, you're right, object dot method. Correctly set up the second loop, created a proper copy of the list of dragons, removed the current dragon from the copy, then called the breathe fire method on the current dragon, passing in the correct coordinates and the list of all the other dragon units. Your code looks complete for the assignment. Feel free to submit and see the dragons unleash their fiery breath. This one's a little different because it doesn't have like completed, passed, failed, and whatever. Walt, I'd be interested to see how you solved it in your specific way. One of the things I have found out about Python is there's more than one way to solve a problem. They have an idea on how their solution is, and they've trained boots in a specific way. You mentioned enumerate, which is probably a very valid way of doing it with either less code or code that you understand. And I think that's awesome. There's a different way of doing it, especially when. All right, so let me double check here. All right, I have an armor, I have a potion or two, I have plenty of baked salmon. I'm gonna burn a potion, and I'm going to accept a 1000 XP, and then okay, great, 547 XP. All right, I'm halfway there. So now, oh shit. Okay, well, I'm not going to solve these within the next hour. Oh, ad break. Oh, good. Okay. Apologies. Thanks for coming back. I did in fact solve the problem earlier. I don't know how long that ad break was for. I don't actually get notified when my ads are happening or what have you. So I know other streamers appear to have that kind of indicator. I just don't know what mine is. So here it is. So, for dragon and dragon. So we're iterating through the for loop. So this would be the list of items that it wants you to pull from. So green, red, blue dragon. When you're iterating through, it's going to start at the top. So green dragon. It asked me to create a new dragon list and copy that in, copy the original dragons list into a new dragon list. I'm supposed to pop the current dragon out of that list. So that's how we did it here. You're going to pop out the new, or the current dragon that it's iterating through. And then that dragon is going to breathe fire on the remaining dragons in the list. And that makes the most likely option. And of course, the solution that they had here, how'd they do it? Let's see. Some of this could be just there's white space that's causing the issue here. Some of these are, oh, okay. I called it other dragons instead of dragons new. I actually did pop a potion. Unfortunately, it only gave me like 547. So it didn't give me enough. So I still have yet one more, and I've got 20, how many hours left? I've got 57 minutes. So this was not a very expensive one. I mean, I could go to chapter 6 where they've got a bunch of questions in that list, but yeah. Oh, yeah, go back here to this and look at the solution. So yeah, they did exactly the same thing. They just called theirs other dragons instead of dragons new. So essentially the same. Oh, and I have a space up here that somehow is oddly white spaced. Weird. Okay. Oh. Okay. Anywho. All right. So inheritance practice. One of the other things they've also done just within the last month or two is they got rid of all the optional courses. So I'm assuming that a lot of these, like the last 5 or 6, were optional that you didn't have to do. But yeah, so they say you discovered that to properly calculate army formations in the game, you need to be able to get the area and perimeter of squares and rectangles of various sizes. Finish implementing the empty method of the rectangle and square classes. So this one is a 6, so it's somewhat less not good in this case. All squares are rectangles, not all rectangles are squares. That is a true statement. All squares are rectangles in that they both have the same coordinate system. One just has a different length and or width. In this case, for the square, the length and width are going to be exactly the same. For a rectangle, one of the values will be greater or less than the other. All right. So in this case, self.length equals length. Self.width equals width. All right, so get area it's going to be, well, to get the area is going to be width times length, right? So it's self.width times, oh, sorry, we need area, right? Area. Self.length it should work. Perimeter equals, and it's going to be, these are going to be, so we can do that plus, and then it's going to be what, times 2, or actually I could just, copy paste these again. So I could either do it like this, which would be, the janky looking way, because I need a plus there. I'm assuming I could do like 2x times, length plus width, and that would work too as well. Let me see if there's a, okay, so far, square object has no attribute width. Okay, well I haven't done those yet. That's why. So but I have something. I have some output, which is great. All right, so square, I'm gonna call rectangle. I don't need to do self.lengthen because it's already inheriting all of that from rectangle. Due to inheritance methods, the square class should only need to implement, right, so the square class should only need to implement the init methods. So it would be super. You need returns. Oh, right. Boots would have told me that hopefully eventually. Hopefully. Oh, that's no. I'm not. Now I'm just getting straight old ass, error messages here. So, invalid syntax. Huh. Well, let's see what Boots says about that. This is the other problem. It's like I need a ton of fucking baked salmons because every episode of this freaking the error I'm seeing says that the equal sign between area and formula is not working, is invalid syntax. Return the right-hand side after the equals. Oh, I see. Okay, so don't set perimeter equals, just say return that. I see. See, that doesn't, it doesn't, oh wait, and I also need a plus here. So, because perimeter, not area, so that would have screwed up my math. Okay, well that's getting there. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to recopy because that didn't work. So I pooched that bit. So there we go. Chemical, your formula is correct. Perimeter is close, but let's engage a bit of arithmetical alchemy. Can you think of a way to simplify? Yes, I can think of a way to simplify this. It's, I'm assuming it's like, 2 times, and then, order of operations and what have you. So, and actually this should be a plus in here. So here we go. For perimeter, yes. It should work now and more efficient. Correct, yeah. Yeah, I know. I appreciate you, Boots. Yeah, I was already working on the super there. For square, how would you pass board length and width? Can you think of how to use the same value for both so that the parent rectangle knows the child shape is special? Interesting. Well, I had the super part right. I had the init part right. I don't think it's length and width, but it just that doesn't seem right. It would seem like is using just the length provided to. So what, length and length? I doubt that's stupid. That's a stupid way of doing it. It's not correct. Shut the fuck up, really? That, okay. Okay, that's that's so stupid. Well, in this case, then width and width would also work, right? Width and width. because I mean, logically to its point, yes, if the width is 2, then the length is going to be 2, or if the length is 3, then the other length is going to be 3. It should work either. Oh, it did not work. That's interesting. Why didn't oh, because I've got length in here already. Okay, so that is why that won't work. But if I change this to probably width, then it probably would work. Yeah, so okay, so if I have length, then I need length and length. All right. Oh God, that's stupid. Anyway, so it still works. Yeah. All right. That was really weird. Now that you have functioning rectangle and squares with the correct inheritance and the method overrides, do you feel confident with these? You feel, yeah, okay. Or would you like a conceptual riddle or a practice question on inheritance before moving on? No, I think I'm good. My ass is already sweating because I'm doing these things in front of an audience, but all right, and so submit. So that's another, yeah, see, I got 340 for that. I got 500 and something, so I still need to answer yet another question. But I'll get my 1,000 here if I can. Oh, Jesus. This one is, okay, so this one's a 7, so it's a little more difficult than the last one. But I do need to self.max speed equals max speed. I'll make sure I'm not, okay, so complete the constructor, which you need to do that. It accepts 2 parameters in order and sets them as public instance variables with the same name, max speed and efficiency, right? Okay, so speed. And then self.efficiency equals efficiency. All right. Right. It sets them as public instance variables. All right. So public is this, right? Because private is with the underscore right here. If it was a private one, then I would need to do something like that. That's not the case. All right. Complete the get trip cost method. It calculates the cost of the trip and returns it. The formula for calculating cost is distance divided by efficiency times food price, right? It costs food to move sieged weapons. Those things are heavy, yes. So just like previously with this one here, and thanks to Walt, remember to return the right-hand side. Now, oh yeah, yeah, so everything is correct. I just didn't put, I put length and width in the opposite directions, but it, you know, it causes it to be correct. So I need to return. Thank you, Walt. Appreciate you. Distance divided by efficiency times food price. Now, wait, oh yeah, okay, so efficiency's up here, right? So I would want self-sufficiency. Gods, I'm assuming that that is correct. Let me see. Okay, so far so good. Efficiencies, yes. Get trip costs. Int argument must be a string, byte line. Okay, yes, yeah, okay, so I've got one of them so far. One of them is correct. All right, so it cost, yes, all right. And so I've done that one, I feel like. Let me get cargo volume. So volume method as empty, use the, oh, so we're gonna leave that as empty. Okay, so that one's solid. Child classes will override this method. Okay. All right, complete the battering ram class. We're gonna complete the constructor. That doesn't look right. So it would be, okay, so in this case, it's trying to confuse me. So put everything back the way it was. That way it looks right. even though that is probably an acceptable method by which you do these. I'm not going, I want to make sure I've got everything correct. That's interesting. There's a comma right after that. Okay. No, there was a comma after that. That was odd. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that, and then so we're going to complete the constructor here. Self dot max speed equals max speed. Self dot efficiency, which is weird because you would think it would inherit from, oh, okay, so let me see. Yes. In this case, I would inherit from siege. I'm getting this slowly. So what I'd want to do is I'd want a super inheritance, because I want to pull max efficiency and speed, underscore init siege, right? I think that's right. Let me double check and make sure from a previous example here. Oh no, okay, I want to pull the exact variables, right? So in this case, max speed and efficiency. There we go. And then self dot load weight equals load weight self dot bed area equals, let me double check and make sure we got everything we need here. Complete the constructor, calls the parent constructor, right? Then sets the extra battering ram only instance variable. Oh, okay, so I don't need the load weight because it doesn't suggest that. It says the battering ram only instance variables. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. All right. Instance area, bed area. Okay. That seems correct because I'm calling the parent method. So calling these previous variables to equal max speed and efficiency. Load area and bed weight. Okay, so that feels like I got that. The get trip cost, which is up here, uses the parent method to calculate the cost of food for a trip plus the extra cost of carrying a load. So that would be the load weight. Formula for calculating the cost. So I need to feel like I need to return that. It would be get trip cost. Damn you. Plus load weight times 0.01. And then according to that, yes, and then the cargo volume, which is down, calculate is not in the init. Oh, calculate is not in the init. Not sure I understand what you're talking about. It's in the get method. Oh, I see. Wait a minute, let me. Uses, so the get trip cost is going to, right, so it's going to, use this distance, self-efficiency, and food price. Okay, let me double check, make sure the trip cost isn't wrong here. confident about get trip cost def. I haven't gone down there yet. Oh, interesting. It must be looking at all of my code instead of, so I don't have to copy the code in necessarily anymore. Move the last line in the init to the get. Move the last line in the init. Walt, are you talking about this line, or I'm assuming you mean the super init down here needs to be moved to the last line? Move the last line in the init to the get trip cost method for the battering ram. Line 18. Okay. You say that needs to be move the last line to the get trip cost method for the battering ram to line 21. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, get trip cost method. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, okay, I understand now. Thank you, sir. Boots would have probably told me eventually that I'd done pooched it. Okay. All right. Thank you. My dinner's almost ready. So let's see what we got. Okay, so far so good. Okay, we only have these two errors. I picked a bad day to stop huff and paint. That was a non sequitur, wasn't it? Get trip cost. Okay, get cargo volume, calculates and returns the cargo capacity in cubic meters to get the volume of the battering ram's cargo, the bed area, multiply its area by depth, which is always 2 meters. Okay. Bed area, so return bed area. Oh wait, self better. Self area times 2. I think that's correct. We'll see. And then catapult class. How's everything looking? Hey, Blue Spider Monkey. We're doing some boot.dev stuff. I'm trying to go through the object-oriented programming sections. Just checking work. And using Boots, the AI, to, yeah, I'll see it was still okay. You fixed constructor issue, a couple issues on your get trip cost. When you call get trip, which version are you trying to call, the parents or the current method? Yeah, okay, so self. Get trip cost. Ooh. Parents of the current method, how might you specify you want to use the parent class's method? Okay, so in this case, it would be siege. I think that's more correct. Okay, so far so good. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to need to probably take off here with dinner being about done, because my wife is, yeah, I'm going back on keto because I'm becoming a fat ass again, and I want to make sure I'm losing about 20 pounds because, you know, speedo weather's coming up. And so I will, I did not, it's a case sensitive thing. No, it has capital S. So what I'll do is when I come back on Tuesday or the next time I stream, I will let everybody know what the answer to this one was. And I'm going to be on next, and we'll cover that. We'll hopefully Sockville will have a threat intel quiz, and we'll be able to do some stuff. So before I go, just want to thank all the people who came, and Walt for invaluable bit like you did in the init method. Okay, I'll follow that up with the init area there. thanks, Walt, for taking time and being patient with me. And if you're going out tomorrow, exercising your U.S. American rights, be careful out there. Look after one another, and make sure you enjoy your American activities in a peaceful manner, if at all possible. So, hope everyone has a good day. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk very soon. Okay. Bye, everybody. Stay safe. Take care.